Hi, and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat if I am visible as well as equally audible? Then we would start right away. Let me turn on my preview screen. Hi, and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Okay, we are live and it's working absolutely fine for now. Okay. So we would wait for just 1 or 2 minutes, then we would start right away. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Okay. Or else just what should we do? Okay, let's start. I think, yeah, 4 viewers. Okay, we would be starting now. So today we would be doing yesterday's problem, that is maximum profit. Okay, maximum profit, and it is a mathematical question and a dynamic programming question. It came in Acolyte and in Amazon and one more company. Now it is a hard level problem with a success percentage of around 68%. Okay, I found this problem quite interesting because the thing is that it makes us quite familiar with how can we use multiple states. What do you mean by multiple states? The state is that the state is same, but the thing is that the transition is a little different. Okay, and we need to do DP optimizations here. Okay, so I would tell you what is the thing. So we, in a stock market, a person buys a stock and sell it to some future date. Okay, that is a normal thing, that I would be buying a stock and suppose first of November, then I would be selling the stock on 5th of November. So there might be two cases: either the stock price is increased or either the stock price has decreased. It might be both the cases. So now we are given the stock prices of n days in the array AI and a positive integer k. Find out the maximum profit a person can make at most k transaction. A transaction is equivalent to buying and selling. Okay, when we do buying and selling both, then both are considered as a single transaction. Okay, so what I mean is I will let you know. Suppose I bought a share. Okay, I bought a share at the first day at rate rupees 10. Okay, and then what I did was I then took the share and sold it at the third day. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I sold it on the third day. Okay, so after selling, the price would be 5. Okay, so we have incurred a loss of rupees 5. Now it might be the case. That I brought the share at day 1 and sold the share at day 2. Then the profit is 12. Okay, so thing is that we need to take care of when we would encounter the profit or when we would encounter the loss itself. Okay, and the thing is that one more thing that is very much crucial here is that the new transaction can start only when the previous transaction has been completed. So if you are thinking that I would buy the stocks on the highest day, that suppose the days are 10, 25 and 10, I would buy the stocks at that day and would sell the stocks at 75 and 80, which are the top two. Okay, so it won't work. Why it won't work? I would tell you. The normal thing, that the first approach that comes in our mind is that I would buy the stock at the lowest price and I would sell the stock at the highest price. So what is the stock at the lowest price? Stock at the lowest price is 10. I would sell it at 80. Okay, now the thing is that, now one more thing, now I would again buy at 5 also, and I would sell at 75. So it can't happen here, because it is clearly mentioned that we can only buy if we have no holdings. Okay, what do you mean by no holdings? Like, the process should be continuous. Okay, it should not be overlapping. The buying and selling should not overlap each other. Once the buying and selling is over, we can again initiate a buying and selling process. It shouldn't overlap each other. Okay, It should be very clear because this is a crucial thing. Okay. Now, how would we solve this problem? Okay. Now, to solve this problem, what we would do, okay? So the normal repository of DP states, okay? What we would do, the first repository of DP state, which we all should have a repository of DP states, the common DP states that is used, okay? The common DP states that is used, like DP dash I is equals to the maximum profit till I. Okay, so what would be the complexity? The complexity would be big O of n. What would be the DP? What would be the time complexity of this approach? It would be big O of n. And the next thing is that the maximum profit till I. Now the first thing that we should do is we should first consider this state, which is the most simplest one, and then we should do is we should consider solving by using the state. Okay, so maximum profit till I. Okay, so it might be the case that I would use how many transaction I have sir मुझको DP बहुत tough लगती है. Okay, so the thing is that कहाँ से practice करूँ? Okay, so what you should do is you should first practice the DP questions, do the DP tags from code forces, do the DP tags of around first 800 to 1400, 800 to 1400 rating on code forces. Then you should move to 1600 to 2000 DP. Okay, that would be the medium DP questions. And if you solve around 50 to 60 DP questions, then what you would do is you would make a normal repository of your own. What do you mean by repository? That you would build a library that these are all the commonly used DP states. Okay, DP techniques you would remember, and the DP techniques are kind of very less. Okay, the same kind of process is used everywhere. Okay, same kind of thing. Okay, nothing much. Okay, so at first you should start with writing the recursive, then memorize it. After that, what you should do is, after you have successfully solved that problem, then what you should do is you should try writing the iterative approach of that same memoized, okay, same thing. Okay, then what you would be doing is you would be good with both recursive as well as iterative DP. Okay, why I'm telling that first do recursive? There is a proper valid point is that recursive DP, recursive solution is easy to think. Okay, recursive solution is easy to think. And next thing is that you need to be good at recursion to solve backtracking problems, graph problems, and many other problems. Okay, like segment trees and all things. Okay, so you should be good with recursion. To so good with recursion, this provides a scope so that you would be better at recursion also. So you should first write a recursive thing, then you should memorize it, then you should write the iterative. Okay. And then if you do this for 50 to 60 problems, I guarantee you that you would be good with DP. Okay, you won't fear DP. What is my LinkedIn ID? My LinkedIn ID is Siddharth Hazra. Okay, SIDDHAR. Okay, I would be writing it. Okay. My LinkedIn ID is Siddharth Hazra. So just text me on LinkedIn. You can ask me about the general doubts you face here. Okay, the first repository that we should face is dp-i-a. But the thing is that what would be the number of transactions? Okay, what would be the number of transactions? So it might be the case that we would be using 0 transaction, which is safe because less than or equal to k, and it might be the case that we would exceed the number of transactions, that is k plus 1 or more than k. Okay, so these two problem arises when we more than k, which would make this problem wrong. Okay, which would make this approach wrong. Okay, now we would look at the constraint itself. What is the constraint given? Can someone please confirm, because this question is taken the screenshot, so I forgot to take the screenshot of the n and k constraint. As far as I remember, the constraints are around 200 or 500. Whatever be the constraint, that is 10 to the power 2 itself. Okay, good to go. Thank you, sir. Okay, no problem. Okay, You are most welcome. So now the thing is that this constraint is small enough, so we can use 2ddp2, and this would be inside the time limit. Why I am telling that it would be inside the time limit? Because 10 to the power 2, suppose it is 10 to the power 5 and 10 to the power 2. If I multiply it, that would be 10 to the power, if I square it, that would be 25 into 10 to the power 4, and that would be 2.5 into 10 to the power 5. And in 1 second we can do 10 to the power 8 operation, and this is less than 10 to the power 8, so it would be good to go. So now we have come to the conclusion that 1ddp won't work. The first observation, because we can't keep an account of t itself, transaction. So we need to keep an account of t, keep t also, number of transactions also. Why? Because the transactions can be 0, then it would be safe. But suppose the transaction is more than the given transaction, so it would be wrong. So we need to keep an account of t also. Now, whenever we need to keep an account of I also and t also, the current position and the t, then it would be a 2ddp, I and t, that would be a 2ddp. Now the first thing that we would do is we would check that if 2ddp is allowed or not. So we now know that 2ddp is allowed. Okay, it would fit inside the time limit. Okay, now it has boiled down to the fact that we can easily solve 2ddp. We can use 2ddp. Now what would be the dp states? Okay, what do you mean by dp states? What in simple words, what is dp states is that dp states are the things that is needed to go from a particular point to other point. Okay, normal thing. Suppose I am in the middle of my journey. I am at the station. Suppose I am at the middle of the journey. I need to reach the destination 3 and I am at the destination 2. Okay. So what are the things that is required to move from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 3? What are the things that are required at this point? Just do this and that would be it. Okay, that is 2ddp, 3ddp. If you require 3 things, that would be 3ddp. If you require 2 things, that will be 2ddp. Normal practice. Okay, it might be the case that it might there always exist some exceptions and all. Okay, so we would be moving forward. Just a sec. So am I clear till this point or not? Just let me know if I am clear till this point or not. Just give me a +1, then we would move forward. By the way, everyone took lunch? Okay, so 2 people, I got a +1 from 2 people. I expect a +1 from everyone else. So please do that while I'm explaining, okay? And that would be the most helpful thing. Okay. Now we would move forward. Okay. Now the thing is that we need 2 things. Now, for reaching the intermediate point, we should know that at which point we are standing. That would be the current index. And what is the next thing? We need to keep an account of the number of transactions. Okay, let me write with a different color. Number of trans. Okay, these 2 things are needed. Okay, now we would move forward. Okay, now what is the maximum index that we can do? We can cover a maximum index of n-1. Maximum index can be from the range of maximum index can be 0 to n-1. If the size of the array is n-1, 0 to n-1, and the maximum value of transaction can be from 0 to k. Okay, these are the things. Now the thing is that to reach the base case, okay, the base case, we would first calculate the base case. So if we are standing, if the current index is the day itself, okay, So now current index means the day. Okay, I told it current index so that it would be well understood is the day. So if the day is 0, if day is 0, and the whatever be the transactions, what do you think would be the value? What do you think would be the value of this? Okay, what do you think would be the value of D if the day is 0 and the number of transaction can be anything? What could be the value of this? Okay, so the value would be 0 because we have already zeroed it. Okay, so please try to reply with me. Please try to maintain the rhythm and all. Please just reply to the chat. But you would be also clear. Okay. Okay, just try to visualize the things. Okay. Now the next thing is that we would now try to solve it for minimal transaction. We have already solved for the minimum number of days. Now we would solve for minimum number of transactions. So if suppose the minimum number of transaction is 0 and whatever be the days, okay. So if the number of transaction allowed is 0, then the profit would be 0. That is the thing. Now what are the things that we have done? So it would be a 2D DP, first thing. Next thing is that the DP state would be maximum profit with T transactions allowed. Okay, at most T transaction allowed and D days. And here it would be T, D itself. Good to go. Now the third thing, that are the things that if day 0, then value is equals to 0. If transaction is equals to 0, the value would be 0. Okay. Am I clear till this point or not? Just let me know. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat? Then we would move forward. These are all the things that we have done till this now. Okay. This is the normal conclusion. Okay. Concluding part. Okay, the third point is the base case, 2 is what is the DP state, and first is the thing that would be the array. Okay, the normal where we would store the things. Okay, so now we are good to go. I got a +1 from 2 people. I expect a +1 from everyone else. Till then I'm explaining. Just let me know if this is clear or not. Okay, now we would try to move forward. Okay, so now the thing is that there are many base cases. What would be the intermediate case? What would be the intermediate case? The intermediate case would be, now normal the intermediate case would be, suppose I want to calculate the value of dp dash t comma d itself. Good to go. So now dp dash t comma d, the base case is already calculated. Okay, so dp dash t comma d would be the maximum profit. Okay, so we would write an answer and initialize with 0 itself. Good to go. Now we would try to move forward. How we would try to move forward is that we would calculate the value of previous and the day before previous. Okay, I'm telling you. Suppose this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are all the indexes. Okay, so now suppose I bought at this state and sold at this state. Okay, so my profit would be A-6 minus A-3. Done. Okay, so my profit would be A-6 minus A-3. Okay, so now the first thing that I would do is I need to go back and I need to take out the maximum profit. Okay, so I would be going back from a particular position and I would be telling that what is the maximum profit out there, maximum profit, and I would plus profit A-6 minus A-3. And what would be the profit till this point? The profit till this point is that one transaction less minus A-3. M itself. M itself, what would be the M? M would be this value. Am I clear or not? This is the profit at this point. So we can't look inside this, okay? Because inside this, that because we can't do any transaction between this period. If we are using this, then we can't do transaction within this period. So we would ask transaction -1 and before that day, okay? This part will be left out, okay? This part would be left out. This is making the code nasty. But what I want to convey is this part would be left out, transaction -1 and this part. Just let me know if I'm clear or not. Till then I would be moving forward. I won't be waiting, okay? Just let me know if this is clear or not. Then we would move on to the implementation now, okay? Because this is the most intermediate part. The base case is done, the intermediate part is done. Now we would just calculate using the normal things, okay? Just let me know if this is clear or not. How we would calculate the intermediate case. So we would stand at a particular position. Suppose this is the particular index. We would look back howsoever far we can look. Then we would that minus that point. And before that point, what was the maximum profit? We would add both of that, take the maximum, assign that to the dp dash t dash d. Okay. Okay. Can I have a quick +1 from everyone? Okay, the live view count is around 8 and the number of likes is only 5. Can you please increase the like counter? If possible, please. It won't affect you much, I think. Okay, so this is done. Now we would move on to the implementation part. Okay. So the first thing that we would do is we would initialize a dp-k+1 and n+1 and the maximum profit on the ith day with at most k transaction. What I have said. Now we would initialize the base cases that if the number of transaction is 0, so whichever day we are standing, the profit would be 0. And if the number of days is 0, so how many transactions we do, the profit would be 0. So this is the part is we are initializing the base cases. Okay. Now I would again explain the calculation of the intermediate case for Ayush. Okay. Ayush, this time listen very carefully. Okay. Suppose I want to calculate the value of dp dash transaction at a point, and suppose I am standing at a particular index. Okay, I want to calculate the value of this point, intermediate. Okay, so now what I would do is suppose this is the given array. This is the given array that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good to go. Now what we would do is suppose the index for now is 9. Okay. Suppose the index for now is 9 and the transaction is 3. Whatever be the case, that might be the case. Now we would try to move forward. Now suppose we are standing at this position. So what we are considering is that we would be using upper transaction. So what I want is we would be selling at this point. So we need to buy at some point between this. So we would iterate on this part. Okay, we would iterate on this part. Okay, we would iterate on this part. So suppose I bought at this place and I would be selling at the current point. So what would be my profit? My profit would be A-9 minus A-5 itself. That would be my profit. Now final price minus initial price. That would whatever be the profit and loss. Sorry, it might be loss also. But what I am telling is I am talking about the resultant value. I hope you understand. Okay, भावनाओं को समझो, बातों को नहीं. Yeah. So whatever be the case, suppose I have sold at this point, I have bought at this point, I have sold at this point. Okay. Now the next thing is that I would be selling and buying and selling at this point. So I know that buying and selling can't happen between this point. Okay. And we need to consider the profit before that point. So what would be the case? The case would be dp dash one transaction less, because we have used one transaction here. So t minus 1, and then this one minus 1, that would be 5 itself. Okay, and we would be adding it, dp dash t minus 1 dash 5 itself. Okay, Ayush got it. So I think everyone must have got it, or else you must have asked me. Okay, now I would be moving on to the implementation. The initialization of the base case is already completed. Now we would move on to the main part. Okay, now the thing is that I would be going from I is equals to 1 to k plus 1, the transactions that we would be using, and j1 to jn, because for 0 we have already calculated. Okay, now we would be initializing the answer as 1e8 itself. Okay, now what we would do is we would start from the top to j minus 1, and what in the same way what we have done is a dash j minus a dash m. What is m? M is the current position, plus a dash I minus 1 dash m. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, as I have mentioned at this point, this is what we are doing. Just go to this, just pause at this point and you would know what I'm doing. And now what at the end I'm doing is answer and dp dash j minus 1. So it might be the case that if I am selling, what I'm considering is at a particular position, I am selling at this point, I am selling at this point. So it might be the case that selling at that day might be not profitable to us. So what we are considering is one more scenario we are considering is j minus 1, that we didn't sold here. Okay, the number of transaction allowed is same, but we didn't sold here. Okay, this is done and we would return this. Okay, if so, tell me now if this is clear or not. Tell me now if this is clear or not. I know that I have not explained you some lines of code, and I have explained you the comments. I know that. I am well proper aware of that. It didn't miss us. It is not a mistake from my side. I'm well aware of that. But tell me the things I have explained you. Did you understand that or not? That we would be at particular position. We have already initialized the initial values, base cases, and then what we are doing is at a particular value we are looking at this point. We are whatever be the maximum value, we are calculating the maximum value. Then we are considering the maximum value, and then we are assigning that we are selling on that day or not selling it. Okay. So can you please give me a +1 if this is clear? Then I would tell you a small optimization. I would tell you a small optimization here. One small optimization is left and then we would be good to go. Okay, I am not getting any replies, so I think nobody has any doubt. If you have any doubt, just let me know. If you have properly understood, just give +1 in the chat and I would be moving forward. Okay, because the view count is very less. Okay, now one more thing is that we are doing is this would be t, and this is n itself. Okay, so t multiplied with n, and then again we are iterating by this loop again n, which would give me a TLE. Okay, this would result in a TLE. Okay, now the thing is that we would be trying to optimize. How we would try to optimize? Now the thing is that just see for once. What is the thing that is calculated here? This is where now we are doing t into n into n. This last 10 is because of this part. So if somehow we do this in big O of 1, then it would be good to go. Okay, good to go. Now, the thing is that I would be copying this thing and I would be trying to optimize this thing. Good to go. And we are taking the max value. This is good. Now, what can we do? Okay, what can we do here? So we can write a dash j. Okay, a dash j would be a dash j would be the only this m is a variable here. Only this m is a variable. I and j is completely same. I and j would remain same. Only this m is changing. So the only change is only back and fro is m here. Okay. Now the thing is that j is fixed. Okay. So what we can do is we can take j out of this loop. Whatever is fixed, we take it out of this loop. Okay. So it should be simple. What are the things that remain is minus of a dash m plus dp dash I minus 1 dash m itself. Am I clear? Now a dash j can all this part inside the bracket can also be written as dp dash I minus 1 dash m minus a dash m. It can be written like this only. Now, now, now the thing is that we are maximizing this part. Only this part. Okay? Because this is fixed. How can we maximize this? If anything is fixed, how can we maximize that thing? So that is fixed. Now, this boils down to the fact that the maximum difference between these two is considered. So now what we can do is we can keep the maximum distance. We can keep the maximum distance at the particular point till that point, and then we can simply add that. We can simply add that. Okay, I'm clear. Okay, I think I'm clear with this. Now, what can be done here itself? Okay, then maximizing the add part. Good to go. So now what we are doing is we are keeping the answer as 10 to the power 8. Okay, no normal. This is the constant part. So this is constant. This is also we are changing. Okay, this I have told it cn. Okay, so what I'm doing is how we are calculating the cn. dp dash I minus 1 dash j minus 1 minus a dash j minus 1. This is what is needed. And now the thing is that this is still here and this part is now changed to cn. Okay, and now we are able to calculate the value of cn in constant time. Okay, so now the time complexity would be number of transaction into n. That would easily fit the time limit and we will get a AC. Now, any more further queries that exist, I would be waiting. I would be waiting for just 1 minute. After that, I would be turning off this session. If I don't get any queries, I would be turning off this session. So, can I have a quick +1 if you have successfully understood? And if you have not understood, then just ask your doubts. And if you still face any difficulty while you are implementing this on your own, then you can ask me on LinkedIn. My username is Siddharth Hazra. Most welcome, Ayush. Okay, Ayush understand. Anyone else who understood or only Ayush understood this? Okay, so that's all for today. This is me, Siddharth Hazra, signing off. If you are viewing it after the live, then please consider commenting this video. Okay, why I'm telling you to comment this video? Because it won't cost you anything. It won't. It would take just a few seconds only, and but it would increase the ranking of this video because I have tried my level best with honesty. Okay, so if you can justify someone else's hard work, then you should consider doing that. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.